I stand tonight on the trembling edge of my heart, whispering the last prayer my soul still remembers, because life has pushed me to a doorway where only one sentence remains breathing inside me. This is the last chance for you. The moon hangs above me like a forgotten witness, its silver face tired of observing lovers who break, rebuild, collapse, rise, fall again, like desert dunes shifting under winds that never learn the direction of mercy. And I, a wanderer with unsteady footsteps, carry the ashes of my patience in the palms of my trembling hands. I cup them gently, as if touching them might bring back the shape of all the promises that once lived there. Tonight the stars have grown quiet. Even they know silence is sometimes louder than truth, sometimes kinder than explanation. And I, too, am silent now. Not because my heart has stopped speaking, but because it has spoken too much. Because I have written your name on the walls of my endurance, in letters deeper than wounds. Because I have lit candles for you when my own world was sinking into darkness. Because I have waited through sunrises that burned and nights that froze my bones. And now the waiting stands before me like a towering mountain, asking for more, but offering nothing in return. So hear me carefully, for these words are not anger, not revenge, not punishment. They are simply the truth that arrives when everything inside you has been stretched past breaking. This is the last chance for you, not because I am cruel, not because my love has faded, but because even the ocean withdraws after kissing the same shore 1,000 times without being welcomed, because even the wind eventually turns away from a door that never opens, because even hearts made of tenderness must one day protect their final fragment from being shattered. Tonight I speak not as a lover begging for affection, not as a dreamer pleading for miracles, but as a human being who has swallowed too many storms in silence. I speak as someone who has given more than they had, hoping you would finally understand the weight of their love. I speak as someone who stood through every thunder, believing you would someday run toward them instead of away. But time has its own truth, and the truth tonight whispers gently but firmly that this heart cannot be a battlefield forever. That love is not meant to be a constant war between expectation and disappointment, that I cannot keep sewing my own wounds while waiting for your hands to finally reach out. So listen, because the universe itself has paused to let these words reach you clearly. This is the last chance for you. If you want this love, this quiet, devoted, fiercely loyal love, then fight for it now, not tomorrow. Not one day, not when you feel comfortable. Now, tonight, while there is still a heartbeat, connecting my name to your destiny, because hearts do not stay open forever, because even hope becomes exhausted when carried too long alone. I have carried us. I have carried you. I have carried the weight of both our hearts. When yours wandered, hesitated, doubted, forgot, or simply didn't try. But I cannot carry both of us anymore. Not without losing myself. There comes a moment in every story when a single word decides the ending. Tonight, that word is choice. Tonight, that word is urgency. Tonight, that word becomes a boundary. The kind I should have drawn years ago. But love kept erasing. My love has been patient. Yes, but patience is not infinite. Forgiveness is not infinite. Second chances are not infinite. And I am not infinite. So hear the ache behind these lines, the trembling behind this confession, the sorrow that tastes like rain, falling inside my chest. This is the last chance for you. If you come forward, I will meet you with the same tenderness that once made you call me home. If you stay silent, I will understand, not with anger, but acceptance. Because love should never need begging. Because the right person does not make you feel like a burden for asking to be loved. I have loved you with the kind of devotion poets spend lifetimes searching for. I have loved you even when loving you felt like drowning. I have loved you when reason told me to leave, but my heart stitched itself back together, just to wait one more day. But hearts stitched too many times turn into fragile things, tender, yes, but also tired. And tonight mine is tired, and tonight mine needs closure, and tonight mine needs truth. So I say it again, slowly, clearly, with the calm of someone who has reached the very last edge of endurance. This is the last chance for you. If you want me, show me. If you love me, prove it. If you care, say it. If you choose me fully. Not halfway, not sometimes. Not only when it is convenient, because I am no longer waiting for someday. Because my future cannot be built on promises that vanish like shadows. I am offering you not a threat, not an ultimatum, but a doorway, the final doorway. Walk through it with your heart, or let it close gently behind you. Either way, this chapter of my soul will finally find its ending. And if you choose not to walk in, do not worry for me. Do not pity me. I will grieve. I will heal. I will rise. I will rebuild, because that is what hearts do when life breaks them. But I will not return. I will not reopen this door. I will not give another last chance. Tonight, every star, every wind, every ache inside me has come together to speak one truth. This love deserves certainty. This heart deserves peace. This soul deserves someone who doesn't need a last chance to understand its worth. So this is it. The final offering, the final moment, the final turning point. This is the last chance for you. Choose before the night ends, before the dawn wipes away every possibility that still remains, before my heart closes like a final chapter written in trembling ink. Choose me or lose me. This is your moment, your last moment, because love cannot survive in the hands of someone who keeps dropping it. I say it one last time, not out of anger, but out of truth, out of love, out of the final strength. My soul still carries last chance for you. The night after I gave you those words felt like walking through a forest, where every tree whispered your name, every shadow carried your memory, and every breath held a quiet fear. Will you come? Will you choose me? Will you understand this last chance? I sat beneath the tired sky, the same sky that once watched us laugh, the same sky that watched me break, and I whispered to the moon, not as a lover desperate for answers, but as a soul longing for clarity. I have given all I can, I said softly, and the moon, gentle and unjudging, seemed to nod in silver silence. The night wind gathered around me, lifting strands of my hair, trying to comfort me with the softness that humans too often forget to give. And in that moment, I realized something. I was not waiting for you anymore. I was waiting for your truth. There is a difference, a profound difference, between waiting for someone and waiting for their truth. Waiting for someone is hope. Waiting for their truth is closure. Tonight I was ready for either. The world felt heavy, but in a strangely gentle way, as if life itself was telling me, it is okay to let go. If they do not come, it is okay to save yourself when someone else refuses to. Still, a part of me, the part shaped by memories, the part molded by every smile of yours, every soft moment we once shared, held onto a small flame, a quiet flickering light, a final hope, a last chance. And so I whispered again, through trembling breaths, if there is love left in you, let it speak now. But the night remained silent. Not cruel, not cold, just silent. And I understood that silence can be an answer, a painful one, yet one that frees you. But my heart, that foolish, tender, relentless heart, was not ready to stop believing. It remembered too much. How you once held me like something sacred. How your laughter used to wash over me like sunlight through windows. How your presence once made the world feel less terrifying. Love remembers, long after logic has walked away. The heart keeps believing, long after the mind has surrendered. So I allowed the memories to breathe. One last time, I let them pass through me, like ghosts searching for closure. I remembered the first time your eyes met mine, how something in my soul shifted quietly, as if it recognized you from a lifetime I never lived. I remembered the nights. You told me truths you hid from the world, truths you trusted me with, truths that made us feel closer than two people should be. I remembered the way you used to say my name softly, like a prayer you never intended to say out loud. And then I remembered the change, the shift, the slow distancing, the quiet withdrawal, the messages that faded from paragraphs to sentences, to words, to nothing. I remembered the first time I felt unwanted, in a place I once called home. And that memory hurt the most. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't sudden. It was subtle. A slow death of connection, a fading of warmth, a quiet turning away that I kept pretending I didn't notice. But hearts notice. Even when they pretend not to, hearts break. Even when they smile. And my heart had been breaking in silence for a long time. Tonight, as I sat beneath the lonely sky, I whispered into the darkness, "This is the last time I will hurt silently because of you." Not a threat, not anger, just truth. Because silence should not be a battlefield, and love should not feel like begging for the bare minimum. The stars above me began to dim, as if pulling away from the weight of what I was saying. I closed my eyes and asked myself the question I had avoided for far too long. If they don't come, if they don't choose me, if they don't fight, will I still survive? And the answer came quietly, but firmly. Yes, because survival is not the absence of pain. It is the courage to continue despite it. It is the strength to gather your broken pieces and whisper, "I still deserve love, even if it was not given by the one I chose." So I sat there, between hope and truth, between longing and release, and I waited, not for you, but for the moment my soul would accept whichever destiny approached. I watched the horizon slowly lighten, a tender blue creeping across the sky, signaling the birth of dawn, and with it, a realization. If you truly cared, you would have come already. You would not make me stand at the edge of my breaking just to feel your presence. Love does not make someone beg. Love does not hide when it is most needed. Love does not stay silent when its voice could save everything. I whispered then, with the softness of someone learning to let go. This is the last chance for you, but it is also the last time I will wait like this. For the first time in months, I felt something inside me loosen. Not fully, not completely, but enough. Enough to breathe without choking on hope. Enough to stand without collapsing under memories. Enough to see that losing someone is not the same as losing yourself. If anything, I had begun to find myself in the spaces your absence created. The world grew brighter as the sun climbed. Birds began to stir. The wind softened into something forgiving. And with each new sound, each sign of morning life, I felt the night lifting from me, carrying away pieces that were never meant to stay. Morning had risen fully now, painting the world in a golden light. That felt too gentle for the storm inside me. The road ahead looked endless, stretched between hope and heartbreak, between what might happen and what might never come to pass. I walked slowly, feeling the weight of every unspoken word. Between us, words that had lived in the shadows of silence. Words that carried the softness of love and the sharpness of disappointment. Every step felt like a question. Will you come? Do you even know? This is the last chance? Do you feel the ache your absence carved into me? Or does it all mean nothing to you anymore? The world was awake now, but you were still missing, and that absence pressed against my ribs like a stone that refused to move. I paused near a quiet field where the wind moved through the grass, as if whispering secrets to the earth. I sat there, letting my thoughts spill like river water, breaking through a dam, and once again, I faced the truth I had avoided for so long. I loved you too deeply for someone who loved me so carelessly. That truth hit me like a soft thunder, not loud, not violent, but impossible to ignore. I had given you more chances than I ever gave myself. I had forgiven cuts you didn't even realize you made. I had carried this love like a lantern through storms, while you walked with dry hands through clear skies, never noticing the weight I held for both of us. But this was different. This was the moment where my heart finally whispered, no more. Not in anger, not in bitterness, but in self-respect. I had spent nights crying into pillows that absorbed my confessions, better than you ever did. I had written messages I never sent, beaten back the urge to explain myself to someone who rarely listened. I had hoped, past the point of reason, believed, past the point of evidence, and held on long after the rope began burning my hands. But dawn had softened me in a way heartbreak never could. It showed me that maybe losing you was not the end. Maybe it was the beginning of discovering the parts of myself I had abandoned just to keep you close. So I breathed deeply and let the air fill the emptiness you left behind. And then, as if the universe wanted to test my resolve, to stretch my heart, one last painful inch, I heard footsteps, slow, hesitant, approaching from behind me. My breath caught. My pulse stuttered. My heart, that foolish, hopeful heart, lifted itself as if trying to fly out of my chest. Was it you? Had you finally come? Had you finally realized that some chances do not come twice? I turned slowly, not out of fear, but out of the courage that comes from accepting whatever truth stands before you. And there you were, tired eyes, unsteady breath, a face filled with regret, and something else, something I had not seen in so long that it felt foreign, yet familiar. You looked at me as if unsure whether you were allowed to stand in front of me. After all the times, you chose silence over presence. The moment stretched between us, fragile, shaking, ready to break or heal. I didn't speak first. For once, I let the silence belong to you. And then, with a voice so soft, it barely reached me, you said, I didn't know. You were serious. Those words pushed through me like a cold wind. Of course I was serious. Did my tears not tell you that? Did my waiting not show you? Did my sleepless nights, my trembling prayers, my breaking voice, did none of that reach your heart? But I didn't say those things. My silence said them for me. You looked down, guilt filling the spaces where your pride once stood. I never thought you would leave, you whispered. And suddenly, everything made sense. You didn't try because you always assumed I would stay. You didn't fight because you believed I would never walk away. You didn't choose me because you thought I'd already chosen you forever. My heart tightened, not with anger, but with realization. Love, when taken for granted, becomes invisible, and I had allowed myself to become invisible to you. I looked at you with every truth I carried and said softly, I stayed too long because I believed in us. But belief without effort is just imagination, and I can't live in imagination anymore. You stepped closer, fear flickering in your eyes. I'm here now, you whispered, as if those 3 words could undo months of distance. I'm here, you repeated, as if presence alone could repair the cracks your absence carved. But being here was never the problem. It was choosing to stay. It was choosing to try. It was choosing to love when it wasn't easy. And so I asked you, not out of anger, but out of the need for the truth. Why now? You inhaled sharply, your voice breaking, as you answered, because I felt you pulling away. Because I realized you might really leave. Because I finally understood what losing you would feel like. And there it was, the confession my heart had wanted for so long, yet feared hearing. You only chose me when you felt me slipping. You only fought when you felt the loss. You only came when the last chance was nearly gone. And that truth was a heavier heartbreak than all the others. I closed my eyes, feeling the weight of every moment. Between us, I needed you. Before the last chance? I whispered. Not after it. You stepped forward, closing the distance, your voice trembling. I'm late, but I'm here. Please, don't let this be the end. My heart shook. My soul trembled. And for a moment, I stood suspended, between the desire to forgive and the instinct to protect myself. Your eyes, full of regret, full of fear, full of the love you never showed, searched my face for a sign of mercy, and I searched within myself for a truth that would not destroy me. Finally, I spoke. This is your last chance, not because I want to leave, but because I have nothing left to survive another heartbreak. Your breath caught. You understood. Finally, this wasn't a threat. This wasn't a test. This wasn't an ultimatum. This was the last boundary of a wounded heart, trying to save itself. One final time, you nodded slowly, as if the weight of my words finally settled inside you, and for the first time, I saw something real. In your eyes, fear of losing me, hope of keeping me, and love, raw, shaken, unpolished love that finally surfaced, without excuses. You whispered, I won't waste it. Not this time. And as the wind moved softly through the field around us, I realized something important. The last chance was not just for you. It was also for me to choose whether love was still worth the risk. And in that moment, with trembling courage, I allowed hope to breathe again. But only this once. Only this final time. Only because love deserves one last chance before it becomes memory.